Derby Festival has officially begun. The Thunder over Louisville event is now over. Thanks for joining us on the Night Team. I'm Tom Lally. Today meant more to the city of Louisville, coming together to celebrate after coming together to mourn those lost to two mass shootings in the same week. And tonight's show opened with a tribute to those lost. Drones lighting up the sky tonight, spelling out Louisville strong, honoring the 5 who were killed at Old National Bank when an employee opened fire there, and also the 2 killed at Chickasaw Park after shots were fired into a crowd of people. And tonight, LMPD estimates more than 300,000 people watched on from the waterfront. That's where we find our Connor Steffen with photojournalist Elijah McKenzie, who had a front row seat to it all, Connor.
Well, Tom, it's quite impressive. Take a look at how the thousands of people in the crowds has been replaced by just wide open space. So this is what is left of Thunder 2023. We can tell you that the trash is, you can take a look, being picked up by crews as we speak. But I also want to tell you, Tom, there's nothing like one of the biggest fireworks shows in the nation. The way it illuminates in the sky on your face, truly one of the most unique experiences you can have. Thousands of eyes were glued to the sky as jets dazzled the waterfront crowd.
I love air shows. I bleed Air Force Blue.
What is your favorite part about the air shows?
The fighter planes. I had a brother who was an F-15 pilot, so kind of like seeing it.
From the Great Lawn to plenty of fair games and rides.
Our hands have been full. We're trying to have a good time and trying to keep tabs on everybody.
One thing was clear, Thunder is about family.
They loved it. They went down that big slide, had a good time. They were a little afraid, but fought their fears and came down.
Some traveled thousands of miles to be here today.
Currently live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I got in at 6 a.m. this morning.
It was a lot of negativity down in Chicago, so I felt like just coming down here and seeing that positive vibe and to experience Kentucky.
And after the weeks of pain and heartbreak, a time for celebration.
I think that the unfortunate tragedies impacted a lot of people.
I think I like seeing the amount of security and everything, making everybody feel safe, and to everybody to come together and just unite.
But just everybody come together, especially stuff that's happened recently, just seeing the community come together, people still showing up, people still hanging out. It's a good vibe, have some good drinks.
Not even the bitterly cold could stop the droves of crowds.
It's cold, and I'm excited to go to bed on a nice warm place.
But not before the fireworks. One of the nation's largest fireworks shows dazzled the night.
And I've also been to some pretty amazing fireworks displays. People have been telling me that that bridge does a whole waterfall.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, I just think this is awesome. The people have been really lovely. I mean, they're all here to have a nice time.
Yeah.
And they're very Southern hospitality.
Right, kid? You looking forward to the fireworks?
Yes.
Fireworks.
You heard it right there. The fireworks it was the main event here tonight. We're also getting some numbers from LMPD we want to bring you. 6 children reunited with their guardians tonight. There was also 1 person arrested for driving under the influence. We just wanted to give you those numbers shortly. Anyways, this is the kickoff to the Derby season. So much fun, guys, in store here in the coming months. For now, we're live here at Waterfront Park. Connor Steffen, the WHAS11 Night Team.
Thank you, Connor. And with that mass exodus, we want to track our traffic. Here's our traffic tracker. As you can see, a lot of red near and around the waterfront as everyone heads home. LMPD says there's a gridlock right now at Frankfort and Story, but they say that should all be resolved when the interstates open back up, which they say will happen any minute now. The biggest issue is parking garages. In the past few minutes, LMPD says there are still 100 cars stacked up at the KFC Yum Center just trying to get out. So if you're at home watching this, that's the place to be. And if you are still planning on driving anywhere tonight, just remember, always be cautious on the road. The planners and those who do the heavy lifting for Thunder started early today and are staying late, including Wayne Hettinger. He is the original, the Thunder producer who created the soundtrack and moving parts since day one. he's still heading up this massive event with his trademark energy, and his goal is to keep it fresh every year.
It's like you worrying about how am I going to top last Christmas, so you just do. But I stay very active with what's new in the industry, new thoughts, and if I come up with something that's really right, pull the guys in together and say, okay, how can we do this?
He also noted planning for next year's Thunder is already started. We also want to say Wayne started his media career here at WHAS11 TV in the 1990s. And cleanup is already underway. Crews will work through the night to clean up the hundreds of thousands of people's mess who attended this year's event. The Clark Memorial Bridge will remain closed through it all, and that's not set to reopen until 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Our people in the church, and there's 3 of them in the parking lot just standing there talking, and then there's a guy that just noticed the smoke that went around the corner, so I think maybe it's been on fire and they didn't really notice it.
We are now hearing the 911 calls for the first time today, alerting officials to a massive fire at a church in Shepherdsville during Sunday service last weekend. Hardly anything in the church was untouched by the fire. Now, they're in the beginning of a long process to rebuild. Earlier this week, photojournalist Ian Hardwitt and myself sat down with the pastor, who says even through it all, he still feels blessed. In the middle of Sunday service at Full Gospel Christian Center in Shepherdsville,
and we hear a boom. I mean, a loud boom.
Tom Walford, pastor for the last 31 years, said it happened fast as one woman started to sing.
It's unbelievable what could happen in 20 minutes.
When Shepherdsville Fire got the call, they had already been on scene of another fire for more than 5 hours. Still, they rushed straight there.
We couldn't really come back here and be like, hey, we'll be there in a minute.
Assistant Chief Justin Newton said an electrical issue is probably to blame for the fire that left Full Gospel crumbling.
You can see that.
Pastor Walford walked us through the damage that'll cost tens of thousands of dollars to fix.
It all started back here, you can see on the back wall here, and it got all the way from there, all the way back over to this side over here.
If the fire didn't burn it, the water saturated it. Dozens of Bibles and psalm books, even a piano. Does it play still?
Well, not now, it may not. See, it got so much water down in here. Yeah, it does. How about that?
But don't let the state of things fool you.
Well, it's a mess.
Pastor Wolford sees it as a blessing.
I knew no matter what happened, that everything was going to be all right. Buildings can be replaced, but people can't.
Luckily, when he's not in the pulpit, he's a contractor, fixing homes much worse than this.
The rougher it is, and I get finished, the better I feel.
With holes through the roof, a ceiling in shambles, and waterlogged pews, this church now holds a challenge for Pastor Wolford, and he's excited to take it on.
I tell people I'm blessed more than the rest, and I thank God for it.
In Shepherdsville, Tom Lally, WHAS 11, on your side. And if you'd like to help Full Gospel Christian Center rebuild, they ask you send donations to First Harrison Bank. You can make them payable to the church. The Louisville police officer who shot and killed Breonna Taylor in 2020 is back in law enforcement. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office confirming with us tonight they've hired Miles Cosgrove. Cosgrove was fired from LMPD in January of 2021 for violating use of force procedures and failing to use a body camera during the raid of Taylor's apartment. Cosgrove was one of the 3 officers who fired their weapons during that raid. He fired his 16 times. Despite his termination, Cosgrove has not faced any criminal charges related to the killing. And Carroll County's Chief Deputy Robert Miller pointed to this fact in reference to Cosgrove's hiring.
We looked at the fact that the U.S. Attorney General has stated there was no evidence that he had any involvement in the preparation of the search, and the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council determined not to initiate a hearing to revoke his police certification.
And a protest in Carroll County has already been planned on Monday. It's starting around 10 a.m. in response to his hiring.